Arsenal predicted lineup for the return of the Premier League. So lads, we're just 8 days until the return of the Premier League, and Arsenal's game with Manchester City daunting. Let's just say the preparations for the return have well and truly begun. With the Premier League returning, the task for Arsenal is simple: find a way to get Champions League football. Now, I don't know how we're going to do it, I don't know how we're going to get it, I don't know if we can get it, and being 9th place in the Premier League is certainly not helping the cause. All that being said guys, for Arsenal to maximise their chances of making it into the UEFA Champions League, Arsenal need to make sure their lineup is on point. And it's not just that lads, but of course there's many questions as well. Who's come back from injury? Who's available to play? And most importantly lads, with Liga being cancelled, what happens to the heir to Virgil van Dijk, aka William Saliba? So many questions, and I'm going to answer them. So with that being said guys, in today's video lads, let's get into this and let's discuss my predicted lineup for the return of the Premier League. Lads, let's play talking. 8 days can't come soon enough, God. So if you just, want to fast forward time, you press that button and do it, then I'd appreciate it. Cheers, lads. Yo, what is on guys? My name is Tino. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, lads, we are back again, and we are going to be discussing my predicted lineup for the return of the Premier League. Now, of course, I'm not actually just talking about the Man City game. I'm talking about the entirety of the return of the Premier League. How Arsenal can play from now to the end of the season. And you know what? If I had a magic button to press that I could cancel the Premier League season, I probably would, because we're 9th place in the Premier League. We got Man City next, and yeah, we're basically in shambles right now. But alas, your boy's here to provide you hope, as I always do, because it really matters what I say. Okay, but with that being said guys, before we get into the video itself, make sure to go down there and smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let me know your thoughts in the comments on the video itself, on the lineup I give. How would you line up Arsenal, and where do you think Arsenal are going to finish with the Premier League return? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to follow all my social media, my Twitter, my Instagram, vote for me for the Football Content Awards, and make sure to follow my group channel, The Offsiders, making some banging content, so make sure you subscribe. But with that being said guys, let's get into this video and let's discuss my predicted lineup for the Arsenal and the return of the Premier League. 8 days and counting. Those 8 days can't come quick enough lads. Let's get into this. Right lads, first things first, let's discuss formations. What formation are we going to line up with? Now in terms of the formation, I think it's pretty simple. It's going to be a 4-2-3-1. And the reason why I say that of course is because that was the predominant formation that Arteta was using prior to the pause of the Premier League. And the reason why Arteta was using that of course is because I know he probably prefers to play the 4-3-3. That is a formation of course that Man City used and Liverpool used. But the reason why we can't use that formation right now is because we don't have the players to fill certain areas of the pitch for that. With one of those players of course being a man like Mikel Arteta, he does not have the capabilities or the facilities to play in that deep line midfield role like Man City have with De Bruyne and David Silva, Bernardo Silva, Ilkay Gundogan. We don't have a player like that. But in terms of getting the best out of Mikel Arteta currently, he is not able to play in that midfield role, so he has to play a bit higher up the field as an attacking midfielder, hence why Arteta has not been able to play that 4-3-3. But make no mistake, because I am absolutely certain when it comes to next season, once he gets the players he needs and gets rid of players that he doesn't need, I'm sure Arteta will move over to that system. And the reason for that is simple lads, he's been taught that system since he was a young kid. At La Masia, they play that 4-3-3. Barcelona play that 4-3-3. He then worked under Pep Guardiola at Man City, playing that 4-3-3 formation. And right now, if you look at the best teams in the league right now, Man City, Liverpool, they both play that same formation. It's a very good formation, but it's a formation that requires certain players to play in certain positions, and we don't have the facilities for that right now, big man. So yeah, that's pretty simple and pretty easy. The formation we're going to go for, and Arsenal probably going to go for, is a 4-2-3-1. You'll have to see it. Okay lads, let's move on. Moving on to the goalkeeper lads, let me think. Bert Leno. So easy lads. Let's get it straight. Of course, in terms of the goalkeepers, there's not much to debate. Bert Leno for me is top 2, top 3 goalkeepers in league this season. He's had a fantastic season. He saved us so many points, saved us from embarrassment so many times as well. He's an easy starter for Arsenal. And to be honest lads, you really want to see Emiliano Martinez playing in the Premier League? No you don't. I don't either. Bert Leno starts, simple as that lads. Moving on to the right back lads, and it's going to be Hector Bellerin. Sorry to any Cedric Suarez fanboys, but I don't think he has any. In terms of right back lads, I think it's pretty simple. Of course, prior to the pause of the Premier League, Bellerin was playing a few games in that right back position, but of course he had just come back from a long-term injury and he picked up another injury apparently as well, so he was struggling at mad. And a lot of fans were even saying, you know what Hector, it might be time to go. But of course after the news came out that the man was playing through an injury, a lot of Arsenal fans were like, yeah, do you know what Hector, we'll give you that one off for now. But make no mistake now lads, because now that we've had this 2-3 month break, I fully expect Hector Bellerin to be fully fit again, and I don't want to see any more excuses for the man. I'm a massive fan of Hector Bellerin. I've always been a massive fan of Hector Bellerin. I've got a poster of Hector Bellerin behind me. By the way, don't ask why I've got these posters because I don't even know myself. But yeah, in terms of Hector Bellerin, lads, let's get it straight. He is our best right back. Maitland-Niles can play there, but let's get it straight. He don't want to play there himself, so why we could play him there. And in terms of the other right back, of course, Cedric Suarez. Are you being serious, lads? But yeah, right back, Hector Bellerin. This is your chance to shine. Take it over, lads. Moving on to the first centre back, the right centre back, it's gonna be David Luiz. Mr. David Luiz, Mr. Controversial. But yeah, David Luiz for me has to start in the right centre back role, and that's simply because of the ability he has on the ball. What happened to my voice there? Yeah, David Luiz for me has to start in the right centre back role. Yes, he's not the greatest of defenders, but he has improved somewhat. But in terms of his main strength and his traits for me is, of course, his passing ability. That is what he offers Arsenal, and there's not a single centre back at the club that has that ability of playing on the ball. Hang on though, I say that, but there might be one other guy, aka William Saliba. Now, of course, in terms of William Saliba, I'm going to address it right now. I know a lot of Arsenal fans want to know, can he play for Arsenal? Is he available for selection? And to answer that question, lads, no. And that is, of course, despite Liga being cancelled and him leaving Saint Etienne to come back to Arsenal, ending his loan short, and despite him even being in the Arsenal first team squad. For some reason, the Premier League is simply not allowing this to happen. I think it's because of the whole virus came out at the wrong time, and obviously it's unfair on Saint Etienne to take a player off from like that. So yeah, lads, I'm sorry to break it to you, but yeah, William Saliba cannot play, and trust me, I'm devastated. Like, why can't we see him play? Virgil van Dijk, you survive for a few more months. Make sure you make the most out of it though, because William Saliba FC is coming for you. But yeah, in terms of right centre back, it's gonna have to be David Luiz, and that's simply because of his ball playing ability and him being probably one of our best centre backs. I can't believe I'm saying that. David Luiz, our best centre back. Can you imagine the scenes, lads? Moving on to left centre half, and it's going to be a man like Pablo Mari. Ayo Virgil, Saliba might not be able to play till next season, but Pablo Mari is still here, and we're here to take over. That is why, of course, Pablo Mari for me has to play left centre back, and that's because he is basically our only left-footed centre back. And in terms of course, the way Arteta plays and the way Arsenal play out the back, it's very key to have a right-footed centre back and a left-footed centre back, because it opens up so many passing angles. Playing out the press is so much easier, and I think in terms of Pablo Mari himself, with him coming in from Flamengo with an option to buy for £7 million on loan, of course, I can't lie, from the games I saw of him, the man was very, very promising and very, very impressive, and I think he's a player for £7 million, you know, could be a very, very big bargain for Arsenal. Because not only can Mari ping a ball like David Luiz, lads, but he also has very good defensive traits. He can defend. He's not the fastest by any means, but he can still defend. He's a good defender, and for £7 million, lads, I'll say it again, I think that could be a bargain. Bargain FC is back in full effect. Moving on to left back, lads, and this is gonna be Kieran Tierney. My Scottish accent fails me once again, lads. That is right, lads. Kieran Tierney for me has to start left back. He is back from his injury, and let's just get it straight. He is our best left back. Now, of course, we have seen Bukayo Saka fill in for that role ever since that injury to Sead Kolasinac, and let's not lie, lads, the man has done well there, so let's not doubt that. But in terms of Bukayo Saka, lads, let's get it straight. He is not a left back. He's filling in a left back, and let's not make him a left back because he has so much more to offer going forwards. So why are we going to waste him in a left back, especially when we've got the best Scottish left back in the Premier League? Andy Robertson, shut your mouth. Kieran Tierney for me, lads, is a player who I've been so excited to see play for Arsenal. When we signed him in the summer, I was over the moon. I was ecstatic, but of course, with all the injuries and all that stuff, it's ruined his Arsenal career so far. But now that he's back to full fitness, I'm hoping to God, fingers crossed, that he can stay fit, because I know deep down there's a very, very good player there, and arguably for me, talent-wise, has the ability to become one of the best left backs in the Premier League. You heard it here first. So yeah, lads, with Kieran Tierney returning from injury, let's get it straight, lads. He starts at left back. The Scottish left back is here, and we're here to take over. Moving on to the midfield, lads. First centre midfield, the right centre midfielder, it's gonna be Dani Ceballos. Now this is a bit of an interesting one, and that is because in terms of Dani Ceballos, we've not signed him yet. He's on a loan with no obligation to buy or option to buy. So if we are to play Dani Ceballos from now until the end of the season, in many ways it doesn't make sense, and that is because why are we starting a player who might not even be here come next season? Because what that could do is a lot of players could start to get used to playing with Ceballos, and then come next season, the man's not there to be seen. So the question then goes, why am I staying to start Dani Ceballos? Well, to be honest, lads, I don't have many options. Lucas Torreira is still currently injured. Guendouzi is a very good player on his day, but I just think Arteta is trying to get the best out of him and trying to, nudge him a bit forwards to change the attitude of his. And I think it's simply down to those attitude issues as to why Arteta has not been playing Guendouzi so far. Of course, prior to the Premier League being paused, Ceballos was playing a lot of games for Arsenal, starting games against Everton, Newcastle, and games that he was playing very good in. And I can't lie, he was very, very impressive as well. And obviously, lads, let's not forget what he offers Arsenal from midfield as well. That ability to play through the press, lovely passing and incisive passing. For me, lads, he is one of our best progressors on the ball. And so for me, lads, Dani Ceballos starts for the Arsenal. Whether he stays at Arsenal next season is another question. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you want to see Dani Ceballos stay at the Arsenal next season? Let me know your thoughts. Moving on to the next centre midfielder, the left centre midfielder, it's going to be Granit Xhaka. Man like Granit Xhaka, you know. But yeah, in terms of Granit Xhaka, for me, he has to start, and that's because, for me, in terms of that ball playing ability, passing forwards, passing sideways, keeping that ball taken for Arsenal, he is our best player there. Obviously, under Unai Emery, we had a different Granit Xhaka player who was, you know, just completely underperforming, making so many errors, and just not the player we're seeing right now. Because what Arteta is doing is very simple, lads. He's playing to Granit Xhaka's strengths, which of course is passing ability and playing out of the back. But at the same time, lads, he's finding ways to play around his weaknesses as well, and that is very, very helpful. And so yeah, to be honest with you, lads, under Arteta, Granit Xhaka looks like a different player, and I'm really, really starting to want him. And I never thought I'd say that. So for me, left midfielder, left centre midfielder is going to be Granit Xhaka. He starts for the Arsenal. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on Granit Xhaka. Do you think he's a long-term player for the Arsenal? Comment below, let me know. Moving on to the attacking midfielder, lads, and it's going to be Mesut Ozil. Man like Mesut Ozil. Where do I begin? When I look at Mesut Ozil, lads, I get very angry. By looking at Mesut Ozil, what it reminds me is the 15-16 season where the man was on fire, playing assist after assist after assist after assist after assist after assist, and he was firing Arsenal left, right and centre. It was his year to win the Premier League, and then came Olivier Giroud. And then he missed a lot of chances, and Arsenal ended up finishing second to Leicester. But yeah, in terms of Mesut Ozil in 2020, let's get it straight. He's not the player he used to be, and he never is going to be that player again. In terms of the player he is, he's a number 10, and there's just not many number 10s in football anymore. So Mesut Ozil is part of a dying breed of number 10s, and I really hate to say that because I'm a massive fan of Mesut Ozil. But as Claude would say, Mesut, it might be time to go. But in terms of what he's doing to us, is because we have Mesut Ozil, we don't have the ability to play in that 4-3-3 formation, which basically means Mesut Ozil right now is holding back the entire team, and that is something that Arteta obviously won't be a massive fan of, but he still knows he has to play Mesut Ozil because Mesut Ozil is still that player out of the entire Arsenal squad who has the ability to pick that pass like nobody else can. And so yeah, make no mistake, despite Mesut Ozil being on the decline, I still think he has a lot to offer in terms of this season. And in terms of Mesut, if you want to leave Arsenal on high, get us into the UEFA Champions League, and we'll love you for the rest of your life. Cheers, Mesut. Now, lads, moving on to the front three, the right midfielder, it's going to be Mikel Arteta. Presence FC is back again in full effect. Signed for £72 million in the summer. So many and so much expectations on him. Every rival fan is wanting him to fail, and you know what, he's been pretty erratic, but still, lads, 14 goals and assists in his first season, having played under 3 different managers, is still pretty decent. And let's get straight, in terms of wingers right now, he's by far our best winger at the club. A lot of people think because Pepe hasn't had 30 goals or something like that, he's been a flop. Not the case for me, lads. Having 14 goals and assists in your first season in a new league, having played under 3 managers, for me is still very impressive. And in terms of what he can offer us, lads, that dribbling ability, cutting from the left, the ability to cross the ball, shoot, and all that stuff, we've got a very, very good player there. Going into next season, Nicolas Pepe, having adapted to the Premier League in a season, have that experience under his belt, having played under Mikel Arteta, improved under Mikel Arteta, I fully expect to see a very, very, very good Nicolas Pepe. And for that, the Premier League's not ready. But in terms of return to the Premier League this season, Pepe has to start. He was really starting to pick up his form prior to the pause of the Premier League, and I expect him to keep that going. Presence FC is back again. Moving on to striker, lads, and it's going to be Alexandre Lacazette. Man like Lacazette, you know. In terms of Lacazette, lads, yes, this season's not been the best for Lacazette, and a lot of fans like myself have doubted him and called him Twerkazette and all that stuff. But at the same time, lads, Lacazette for me is still by far our best striker. I mean, you can make an argument for Eddie Nketiah, of course, he's got a hat-trick against Charlton, but don't forget as well, in that Charlton game, Lacazette scored an absolute thunderbolt. And if I'm a Premier League defender and I'm watching that goal, I am absolutely scared right now. Now, by no means am I saying that Lacazette has come back and ripped the Premier League apart, but what I am hoping for is a Lacazette from last season. The clutch Alexandre Lacazette. The Lacazette that steps up in the biggest games, in the biggest moments, and bags the goal when you need him to. We need that Lacazette back, because if we have that Lacazette back alongside the other players in the Arsenal team, we can easily make it to the top 4 or the top 5 or the Champions League. We're coming for you, lads. But yeah, lads, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you like to see Eddie Nketiah start or Alexandre Lacazette? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because right now I'm leaning towards Lacazette, but Nketiah just got a hat-trick. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And finally, lads, on to the left winger, left midfielder, whatever you call it, it's Aubameyang. Golden Boot is pending, lads. In terms of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, where do I start? Where do I begin? Oh yeah, goals. What does Aubameyang do? Goals. With Aubameyang coming back, what are we going to see? Goals. If Aubameyang gets a chance, what's going to happen? It's a goal. Unless it's against Olympiacos, in which case it might not be a goal. And in terms of Arteta, I think what he's shown so far, even in that game against Charlton, he probably sees Aubameyang as a left winger now. because he has the ability to cut inside and get goals from that side and still score a lot of goals as well. And obviously then if you look at that front three of Pepe, Lacazette, Aubameyang, there's so much threat there, so much movement, interchangeability, and very, very good players as well. And also let's not forget that Aubameyang is our captain, our best player, our best goal scorer, and the man who is going to win the Golden Boot. You heard it here first. Alba, my blood clot Yang is back and he starts for the Arsenal. And to be honest with you lads, I think that front three is going to be very, very vital for Arsenal to get into those Champions League places, because they're the guys that have to fire us there. They're the guys that have to show they're there when we need them, and they're the guys that are going to have to step up in the biggest moments. Aubameyang, it's over to you. But with that being said guys, I am going to end the video there. Of course, if you have enjoyed the video, go down there and smash a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let me know your thoughts in the comments on the lineup that I've given. How would you line up Arsenal, your predictions to where Arsenal can finish, and yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to follow all my social media, subscribe to The Offsiders, and make sure to vote for me for the Football Content Awards. And with that being said guys, I'm going to end the video right there. In today's video lads, we have discussed the return of the Premier League and my predicted lineup for Arsenal, and I can't lie, these next 8 days can't come quick enough. Arsenal, I'm ready for return. Hope you're ready for return. I'll see you next time.